Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to you on Business Today Television. We start the 1st of July, which is the second half of calendar 2025, on a muted note. Nifty is up just about 7 points. This is a bit of a sideways trend that is happening after 4 successive months of rally in which the index has appreciated 17%. So, ahead of the first quarter earnings, the market is a little circumspect at 25,500. If you see, today's high was almost 25,600, but a lot of option writing happening at that level, and you see the Nifty correcting about 100 points from its peak. Ditto for Bank Nifty, 57,150. This is a fresh record high on Bank Nifty. The index at a fresh record, but muted gains on July. Now, I'll request the PCI to kindly fire the long-term chart of the US 10-year yield. You must understand the reason why there is a global risk on trade that's happening. The US 10-year yield, ladies and gentlemen, is now well below 200-day moving average, which is 4.283. This essentially means that the yield is at a multi-month low, and below the green line is something which all equity traders prefer the US 10-year yield to be. Once it's quiet, it essentially means that the risk on trade globally is there for riskier assets, and therefore you see a record high on the Nasdaq, a record high on the S&P 500 as far as Western markets are concerned, and of course a bit of that trend is also getting reflected on Indian markets. Now we need to pay attention to first quarter earnings, and till that time you will see the Nifty in a sideways band for the next 5-7 trading sessions. That's because we've rallied 3.5% in June. I'll request the PCI to kindly show the long-term chart of the Nifty. We've rallied 3.5% in the month of June. We've added, if you look at the monthly chart, somewhere like 1.7% in May on the Nifty, 3.5% in April, and 6.3% in March. So all put together, if you see from the low of March, the index has moved about 3,000 points on the Nifty alone. And that is a rally that needs to be digested ahead of first quarter earnings, which start on 7th, 8th of July. And then if the earnings are good, then we move ahead. But if the earnings are muted or less than expected, then you will see profit booking in the month of July after sustained rally. Now, let's look at something more interesting as far as the broader markets are concerned. Bulls are concentrating their energies on two sectors. One, auto ancillaries, and two, defense. Within auto ancillaries, there is a 20% upper circuit on Gabriel India. Gabriel has just announced a plan to merge its subsidiaries business into itself, and that is something that is driving the stock certainly much higher. Let me get you the details on Gabriel. What basically Gabriel has done is that it has strengthened its position and now become a multi-product diversified auto components maker after it's merged a subsidiary business with itself. It already has a presence in shockers and suspension parts, but once you merge this company, which is Ancemco India Private Limited, which is a unit of Gabriel only, you get Anchemo's business of brake fluids, radiator coolants, diesel exhaust fluids, as also a lot of PVC based adhesives into the main business, which is Gabriel. So this merger with Gabriel will not only expand the revenue for the company, which is at the moment at 4,100 crore rupees, but over the longer term, Gabriel, which is a part of the Anand group, will be the thrust for the group to cross a turnover of about 50,000 crore rupees by 2030 from about 20,000 crore rupees as of now. So this is a merger that has happened in Gabriel India, and apart from Gabriel India, there are a lot of other auto ancillaries that are doing phenomenally well. You have FM Goats. This is the maker of Federal Mughal Goats, which is the maker of a lot of engine pistons, up 10% at 602. Endurance Technologies, again an ancillary maker, is up 5% at 2909. You have Craftsman Automation, Banco India, Shanti Gears, all adding to the momentum that is coming into the auto ancillary space. What else is interesting? Well, look at defense. Again, a lot of activity coming in into defense. Look at BEML, again at a fresh record high. You have a very, very strong move coming into BEML on fairly strong volumes, 3% higher, 434. 962 crore shares have 962 crore rupees worth of shares have been traded in BEML, and you have a very, very strong move coming into Mazgaon Dock, which was up in the green at about 3270. 661 crores worth of shares have been traded. And how can I forget Apollo Hospitals? This is the top traded counter today as far as volumes are concerned. About 816 crores worth of Apollo Hospitals has been traded. Fresh record high, 7,455. The India's largest hospital chain has announced that it will demerge its pharmacy division and provide 195 shares for every 100 shares held with Apollo shareholders as a different unit, which will eventually be listed over the next 18 months or so. So value creation happening for long-term Apollo shareholders, and of course the stock itself enjoying a fresh high. Apart from that, Raymond for the second day in a row is up 5.5%, 749. You have a very, very strong move in terms of new highs coming into MCX, 1.4% higher at 9,072. Completely overstretched charts, but what can be done? Bhagwan hai, and we are marking it. A fresh high on another auto ancillary company called Banco India. They make radiators, 650 rupees. You have a strong move coming into CSB Bank, and of course who can forget Nesco Limited, 1194, 2.5% higher at a volume of about 1400 crores. So these are moves that are happening on individual stocks, and as I have mentioned that two sectors which is auto ancillaries and some defense counters are showing positive rotation of money, and that is something that we need to keep attention on. Apart from that, it's a quiet start to July, mainly because the run up has been so high, and we are now looking at earnings coming in from IT, information technology sector, in the first 5-7 working days of July, normally led by TCS and then followed by Infosys, HCL Tech and Wipro. Guidance will be of great importance, and they come against the backdrop of a record high on the Nasdaq, plus a lot of negative sentiment for IT locally. So those will be watched. Any mild outperformance will spark a rally on Infosys, TCS, HCL Tech, Wipro, because they have been beaten black and blue over the last 6 months or so. What else is buzzing in the market in terms of volumes? Let's pay attention to that part of the market too. You have strength in terms of volume and price coming into stocks such as HBL Engineering, 7% higher today, 634. In fact, HBL Engineering is also a part of the railway pack, where you see anti-collision devices being sold to the government and to the railways. This is the top traded counter in terms of volume today. volume buzzes. 13.9 times 5-day average has already been traded, 1.45 crores. So please keep an eye out on this. Another auto ancillary, MNC, Castrol Industries, in top shape, 3% higher, very strong volumes. Tire maker Balakrishna Industries, 0.5% higher. You have a volume breakout on Apollo Hospitals. I've already mentioned that, 3 times the 5-day average. And of course, who can forget Carborundum Universal, 3% higher at 995. So this is also a stock which is trying to reclaim its past glory. Please keep an eye out on these counters. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we'll call it a day so far. I'll be back at 2 p.m. So a quiet start to July, but like they say, is this the lull before the storm, which will see the markets hit a record high, or is this pointing to a sideways band for the Nifty? Only time will tell. Most probably we'll see a sideways move for the next 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 sessions, maybe till Friday, till the earnings data starts seeping in. Thank you for watching. I'll be back soon.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Patra.